Good morning. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., an alternative parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard. Welcome to Long Live Alternative Parties. Today we have a guest. His name is David Templar. He's going to talk to us about the exciting things he's been doing and the exciting things he plans to do. So welcome to the podcast, David.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.
David, let us get started by you kindly giving us an introduction to yourself, a brief biographical sketch.
Okay, name's David Templar. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, but I've been living in Lexington here for the past about 20 years now. I always consider myself pretty politically active, and I guess it was starting about the late 90s. I think I voted for Ralph Nader in the Green Party the first time he actually ran, which was in 1996. And then, of course, the big election everyone remembers in 2000. But pretty much since 96, I've been supporting and voting for Green Party candidates. I'm just pretty tired of the whole two-party system. It's pretty, with the Supreme Court ruling where allowing corporations to have the same voice as people, it's only made the two-party system more corporate invested. So, and I've been active with the Kentucky Green Party now probably for about 8 or 9 years now. So,
how many years?
Probably about 8 or 9, I think.
8 or 9, okay.
Yeah.
And in what capacity have you been involved in the Kentucky Green Party?
Well, I've been part of their steering committee since 2013. I think that's when I started with them, and then I've been a co-chair of the party for the last 2 years. There's another gentleman in Louisville who is the other co-chair, and I've participated in a few local kind of activist things. We had a climate parade here a few years back with the on Earth Day, and I was there with the Green Party, and we were at the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade that's held every year here in Lexington on Martin Luther King Day. So we haven't been as out and vocal as we would like. We're trying to increase that, and our numbers are kind of few at the moment, but we're trying to build things up and get more people involved.
That's good. That's good that you keep on going no matter what's happening. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So kindly tell our audience what a steering committee does. What's its function and purpose?
It's kind of the, I guess a good analogy would be kind of like, if it was a company, you have maybe a board of directors. So the steering committee is made up of about 9 people, and so we basically we vote on like we made some amendments to our Constitution. We vote on that, but we also try and help spearhead some of the activities and things that areas where we can be involved in the community. Of course, we have members who aren't on steering committee, but anyone who's actually a registered Green Party voter has a say in the party, of course. But the steering committee members are kind of, like I said, they're kind of the leaders, and they serve a 2-year period, and we, you could be reelected, or if you need to step off for any reason, we have others that show interest. So
you said 2-year terms they serve?
Yeah.
And they're elected by the membership in the area?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have a state convention every couple of years, and we, every other year actually, and so whoever, is at that meeting, and like I said, is the registered member of the National Green Party can vote. We elect new steering committee members at that convention, as well as decide who's going to be the officer, co-chair, treasurer, secretary, and we have those conventions every other year.
So we talked about the roles of the steering committee. How about for being co-chair? What are the roles of being co-chair for your party?
Well, we basically, the other co-chair and I have tried to, we kind of, we set the dates. We try and get a consensus of the people who are, normally attend, but we usually set the dates of the convention, plan kind of the agenda for that, maybe call any kind of special meeting that maybe needed to be made, kind of help lead what the party can do locally, in the area, as far as different how we can be present, how we can be active. They also tend to try and help encourage, if anyone's willing or wanting to run for any kind of local office as a Green Party member. We support that. So we're kind of small right now. Our group's pretty small, but the co-chairs typically are kind of the ones to try and plan events, plan things that we can do. Of course, if a member of the party comes up forward and says, "Hey, there's going to be a event coming up downtown. I think it would be good if we were present." Of course, we consider that, or we try to help other people who may be interested in, who are kind of wanting to move away from the two-party system, try and educate people and let them know that the Green Party is a viable option. I know third parties in this country have a real uphill climb, but we are trying to make ourselves more and more, visible and a viable option in elections.
Yes. So kindly tell our audience about your area that you're in Kentucky. Kindly describe the demographics of the area and what it's like.
Well, I currently live in Lexington. It's the second largest city of the state.
Okay.
It's a large university town. The University of Kentucky is located here, so it's also the largest employer within the city. Lexington, of course, is known for its horse farms and the raising a lot of the thoroughbreds that compete in horse races. We also, of course, Kentucky is known for its bourbon, and there's several bourbon distilleries on the outskirts of Lexington. And of course, Louisville's the biggest city, and everyone knows about it with the first Saturday in May with the Kentucky Derby. But demographically, Lexington's pretty diverse. We have a large, student body with the university being here, and I think the population of the university enrollment right now is about 25,000. So it's when spring break and things happen, you can kind of tell the difference. Traffic tends to be a little different, but it's Lexington's a pretty. I want to say it's around 330,000 maybe, and it's been growing pretty substantially over the last several years. One thing Lexington is trying to do is as we grow, we're trying to do a lot of growing infill areas of this within the the city boundary. So because they're really trying to preserve a lot of the horse farms that are on the outside of the city, but still within the county. And Lexington, as Louisville, both have a merged government between the city and county. So, there's Lexington's. It's fairly, like I said, it's fairly diverse. Louisville, of course, is probably about 3 times the size of Lexington, so it's much bigger. And outside of Lexington, Frankfort, the capital, and Louisville, most of the state is pretty rural. You have some cities up around the northern part of the state, just across the river from Cincinnati, Ohio. But outside of those 3 big areas, Louisville, Lexington, and northern Kentucky, like I said, most of the state's pretty rural. And the eastern half, of course, in the Appalachian area, they're trying to find different economic means to kind of build the economy, local economy, since the coal mining is really kind of waned and not as prominent an industry as it was for many years. So.
Sure. So what are the issues in the area that your party is addressing?
Well, of course, we're very concerned about climate change. As I said, we participated in an Earth Day parade here a couple years back in Lexington, and we also were at a Earth Day event in downtown Louisville. So climate change is a very big issue. We're also really trying to push ranked choice voting. I know a lot of people aren't familiar with how that works, but it's basically it's an election system where it's not a winner take all, but basically rank the order of preference of the candidates you want, and then of course the ones at the top percentages of the vote then competed, or then how do I say this? So the top percentages are then ranked, and it basically gives the voter a much more say and a better opportunity at who they want as a candidate for whatever position. For example, you might choose your first candidate might not have one of the top percentages, but maybe the person you put as second turns out to be the candidate who wins. So it's a much more democratic, fairer system than just the winner-take-all approach, and that's something
Sure.
we're really trying to push at the state level. Again, I mean, we encourage people to vote. Try to get people, if they're not registered, to become registered and be active voting citizens. Of course, we're against a lot of the corruption in government. Green Party candidates take no corporate money at all. Most of them who run campaigns get very small donations from people, and it's a lot of the Green Party candidates I know, they work with a much smaller budget than the major 2 parties, but I know we do take pride in the fact that we do not accept any kind of corporate money or influence.
That's good.
Yeah.
So for the for the rest of 2022, what's on the plate for your Green Party, your area Green Party?
Well, like I said, we are trying to grow our numbers. From the list of the voter registration rolls we got from the Secretary of State, the last number, I think there's about 1,700 people in the state of Kentucky registered as Green Party voters. However, trying to reach out to them hasn't been easy. They're stretched across 120 counties in the state, and we don't always, with the voter registration information we get, phone numbers and emails, of course, are not part of the information that's given out. So we have to contact through basically snail mail, and we're rather than try to send 1,800 letters out to people, we're trying to focus more on. Of course, we have a Facebook page, we have a website. We're trying to do more with social media to get people more just to let people know that, hey, there is an official Green Party in Kentucky, and we'd love to have people who believe in the principles of the Green Party and would like to, if they're not already registered voters, join. We're trying to, again, I think the ranked choice voting is a big thing. Of course, the legislative session here in Kentucky just ended, but they meet for the first.
I'm sorry, you're. So,
okay.
What were you saying about? You're saying about ranked choice voting?
Well, that's a big push that we're really trying to get at the state level. The Kentucky legislature meets for the first 90 days of the year, and then they meet for the following year at the beginning of the year. So they just ended their session here at the end of March. So one of the big pushes we're trying to do this year, 2022, is, of course, we want to try to come up with some kind of proposal to the Kentucky legislature to look at ranked choice voting as the way to conduct and hold elections. I think the state of Maine just recently approved that for their state, and it'd be great if we could see more states take on the ranked choice voting. I think if that were to grow and become more popular, maybe there'd be enough influence to hopefully we could get that someday at the national level.
Yes, that would be awesome. So for our audience out there, how can they support your local Green Party there in Kentucky?
Well, of course they can go to our website.
I'm sorry, straightening again. Okay, so you're saying that they can go to the website of your party?
Yes, it's KY Green Party, all lowercase .org. They can go there, and if they have any questions or interest, they can contact us. There's a contact option there, and someone from the party will get back in touch with them. Again, we have a Facebook page. If you search Kentucky Green Party, some of us have talked about possibly maybe we can even start our own YouTube channel, which I think would be a good way to reach people and just have general information to let people know what is the Green Party, what we stand for, and just kind of give some educational information to try and get our voice out there a little more. But the website would probably be the best place to start.
Okay, that sounds good. So, David, thank you kindly for coming on the podcast and talking about all the things that your party is doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you reaching out to us and giving us opportunity. People such as yourselves, independent media like that, that's the best way we can try and spread our voice and just give people more of an option than the current system offers for most voters.
David, we wish you all the best in your party activities and all your personal endeavors.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the time and effort. Yeah.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.